everybody. My name is Eric, and today I'll be giving a brief overview of Nike stock. So first, we're going to start off with Nike's business model and their vision statement. Now, Nike's business model can be described as a mass market business model. This is because their items do not target a specific group of people, but anyone who would like to buy athletic footwear and apparel. This can be seen in their four main value propositions. The first value proposition would be their accessibility. Nike creates accessibility by offering a wide variety of options. It has acquired numerous footwear and apparel firms since its founding, including Converse and Hurley International. These actions have enabled it to expand its product lines, giving consumers more to choose from. Following that, the company places a strong emphasis on innovation. It maintains the Nike Explore Team Research Lab at its headquarters, a research facility focused on designing cutting-edge products. It also operates the Nike Advanced Product Creation Center, focused on technology incorporation. The company also incorporates customization through its service Nike ID. It allows customers to personalize various aspects of their shoes, including sport style, traction, and colors. Socks can also be tailored. The company has established a strong brand as a result of its success. It is the top seller of athletic footwear and apparel globally, and it has also partnered with several of the world's leading athletes to promote its products, including Michael Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Tiger Woods. Lastly, the company has won many honors, including recognition as the world's most innovative company by Fast Company in 2013 and the most admired company in America for apparel 3 years in a row. Next, we're going to look at Nike's ESG components. Now, for environmental, Nike has a moonshot ambition of halving its impact while doubling its revenue. It releases a clear sustainability report that has transparent metrics by which it measures the progress towards its goals. Its candidness in embedding its goals when goals achieved as planned is admirable. As of 2018, 73% of its footwear and apparel used some recycled materials, and between 2010 and 2018, 6.4 billion black plastic bottles were made into footwear or apparel. Now, it is also a member of the RE100, meaning it has committed to working towards using 100% renewable energy by 2025. Now, Nike has such a large scale that as it continues to emphasize sustainability, it's poised to make a very strong impact in the long term. Now, for its social impacts, Nike has been striving to gain more diversity and inclusion in their own board, along with voicing their opinions in world issues such as with the women's football team equal pay, and along with black rights with influencers such as Colin Kaepernick. Now, for governance, Nike has a dual-class structure, with Knight and his son Travis effectively controlling all of the votes. While this is generally a cause for concern, the Knight family seems to be aligned with the wider interest of the long-term shareholders, and this is evident in the long-term financial goals set by the company, which include gross margin, earnings per share, and return on invested capital. And this is one of the best indicators of outperformance in a company. It is also important to emphasize the rarity of long-term financial guidance, and in this area, Nike is leagues ahead of most of its competition. Now we're going to talk about Nike's impact evaluation. Nike's mission as a brand is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. Their mentality is to unite the world through sport and create a healthy planet and active communities and an equal playing field for all. They do that by building creative and diverse global teams, making it a positive impact in the communities where they live and work, and by making products responsibly and more sustainably. Each year, they release a report where they represent their public commitments and long-term goals to shareholders. This makes it very easy for the general public and shareholders to see if Nike's projects and programs worked, and can also help investors decide which program's approach is the best. Now, after all of this info, I can talk about why you should invest in Nike stock. Now, obviously, Nike, because of its previous slides, we can see that Nike has a very solid ESG score, which means that the company itself would be a safe investment in general. In addition, the management of the company is very focused on long-term growth, which is great for investors who want a high return on invested capital. Some other factors in why you should invest is the company's adaptability, as before the outbreak, the company's products were selling exceptionally well in China with several quarters of a double-digit growth. Even in the most recent quarter, sales were trending up double digits until the outbreak halted the momentum. Now, because of this pandemic, Nike had a lot to learn to recover from the pandemic, but now that they are applying the lessons that they learned in other countries. Now, Nike also encourages healthy living, which is a very big trend at the moment, which means a lot of people will be buying a lot more active wear, as a lot of people will be going outside and moving a lot. Now, also, Nike, in closing retail stores around the world, Nike has pushed customers to order online. In its third quarter conference call, CFO Andy Campion said, Nike digital demand has been extraordinary, with Nike digital commerce sales over the past few days approaching holiday peak levels, growing triple digits. This is because a lot of stores in real life are closing, so more people are turning to online, and Nike makes it very easy for other people to order online. And now we move on to suggestions as a stakeholder and where they can improve. So Nike can improve on decreasing the carbon footprint. As of 2018, the carbon footprint per product has actually increased from before, but that is because they're putting more interesting materials in their shoes and products. And then we also have the treatment of employees. While Nike has been increasingly transparent in the treatment of its employees, continued monitoring is important for the health and wellness of employees. After that, we have more diversity and inclusion. Unwavering focus in the initiatives that are still new, increasing board level and senior executive diversity, and making sure that traditionally underrepresented groups feel safe and supported at Nike will better the company as a whole. And along with limited presence in developing markets, this is because of issues with pricing, imitation, and patent protection. In turn, this limits Nike's global growth. So because they cannot go into other markets as much, they can't grow as much as they would like to. Along with that, retailers have a stronghold, as with 60 to 70% of all Nike stocks sold to retailers, they control the price at which items are sold, which means Nike has no fight against their pricing structures. And lastly, this is the most important one, Nike has a lot of pending debts. Even though Nike's income statements prove to be rich, their total balance sheets paints a different picture, and they are currently 3.9 billion in debt. Now, thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope you learned at least a little bit about Nike stock.
Okay, thank you.
Kevin, do I have question? Do I have time for one question for
Yes,
Eric?
of course.
Okay, thank you. Eric, you mentioned this social component of the ESG analysis that Nike is actually actively involved in the Black Lives Matter movement and etc. Other big movements, but it also get critics though, right? Like half of the U.S. People don't really might not really support democratic and progressive issues, right? And many of them don't like football players kneel down and protest, right? And along with Nike, right? Do you see this as a risk of the company, and what do you take of this?
Personally, think in the long term that it's better to stand on the more socially correct side of social issues, as it shows your support for different issues in the world and how it can improve. So personally, it might be a risk in the short term where people are criticizing it, but I think in the long term, when reflecting back on other social issues, that it's always better to show your support and have more impact on the support on the issues than just saying nothing.
Awesome, thank you.